the committee members that are coming are here. And, yeah.
All of the committee members are here today?
All of them that, like Brad isn't going to be here, but everyone else is signed in, I can see.
Okay. Okay, so no Brad today. Okay. So it is 3 o'clock. By my computer it says 3. Are we ready to start? Okay. All right. Okay. Good afternoon. This is the Township of Centre Wellington Committee of Adjustment meeting for Thursday, October the 22nd, 2020 at 3 o'clock, and it's being held electronically. And so I'm calling the meeting to order at 3 o'clock, and we're just confirming that the members of the committee who are present, Aaron, Fernando, Fernando.
Present.
And Kathy.
Present.
And then myself. And of course we have Chantal, Randy, and Mariana. So first of all, disclosure of pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. Aaron?
None.
Fernando?
None.
Kathy?
None.
Okay, thank you. And confirmation of minutes for September the 17th, 2020. Everyone's had an opportunity to review the minutes. Kathy?
Yes, they're fine.
Fernando?
Yeah, they're fine.
And Aaron?
Yep.
May I have a mover for to approve the minutes, please?
I can move that.
Okay.
Aaron.
Moved by Aaron. And
I can second.
Fernando, second?
Yes, I can second. Yep.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And all in favor of approving the minutes from September 17th, 2020? Kathy?
Yes.
Fernando?
In favor.
And Aaron?
In favor.
Yes. And that's carried. Thank you. So we'll get to our first application. Okay, which is A22/2020, and it's 6019 3rd Line, Eramosa, and relief is being requested to permit an accessory apartment and a detached building with an increased size of 151.7 square meters, or 1,632.8 square feet, instead of the required 100 square meters, or 1,076 square feet. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment above an accessory building, which is, in this case, a garage. Chantal, can you confirm that the signs for this meeting have been posted on the property, please?
Yes, they were posted in accordance with the Planning Act requirements.
Great, thank you very much. Do we have the applicant or agent present to speak to the application? Kelly Gibson?
Yep, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Now, maybe I could have you just please state your name and provide the committee with an explanation, brief explanation of your application today, please.
Okay, my name is Kelly Gibson-Withers, and I have a garage, a 3-car garage in that approximate size right now that is in need of repair. I am actually requesting the variance to build a carriage house with the opportunity to have live-in care for my 86-year-old mother, who is presently dwelling at Riverside Glen. My father was there as well and passed. So yeah, I'd like to bring her home.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I'll now ask if any of the committee members have any questions for the applicant. Fernando?
No, I don't have any question at this moment.
Okay. Aaron?
A question for staff. The condition regarding the size and it being up to 45% of the total floor area of the existing dwelling. Just curious if there's any background on why 45%, what the significance is of that specific number?
Sure, thanks. I can answer that question. So right now, our zoning bylaw has that requirement in it that for an accessory apartment, it can't be greater than 45% of the floor area. So what the intent of that is to have that proportion that's dedicated to the accessory apartment be smaller than the main unit. So there should be a primary residence, and then this would be ancillary or secondary. So that 45%, attempts to ensure that. Just so you're aware, and the committee can make adjustments to this condition, but that 45% does allow a slightly higher floor area. So if they came in with something a little bit bigger, it would be permitted because of the way the condition is written. So it's 1,600, which is what they're proposing now, 1,600 some odd square feet, but could be slightly higher. I think if you take 45% of the floor area of the existing house, it would come up to a little over 2,000 square feet, actually. And again, if the committee is okay with that, that's the intent of the bylaw. And I think when we do pass regulations for the additional dwelling units that the county is currently working on and we have in draft form, those would allow an additional dwelling unit in an accessory building as of right without a minor variance. And the size, I think, on a rural lot would be that it be smaller. So it would be permitted, provided it's smaller than the main house. So in that case, it might be allowed to be significantly larger than what this is.
Great, thank you.
And Kathy, any questions for the applicant or staff?
No question.
No questions. Okay. Okay. Aaron, you had asked my question, so that was good. Okay. So, are there any other persons registered to be heard with respect to this application, either in support or in opposition to the application? Hearing none?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We had nobody register, so I think we're good.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry. Thank you. So the committee will now discuss the request, and if we feel that it is minor in keeping with the zoning bylaw and official plan, and also we can discuss the conditions if we're in agreement with the conditions as suggested by the planning report. Maybe we'll start, Kathy?
I am in favor of this application with the conditions that were put forward by the planning department.
Okay. Thank you. Fernando?
I don't have any issues with this application as well. It doesn't seem like it's interfering or cause any impact with the surrounding area or neighbors. So I'm in favor.
Okay, thank you. And Aaron?
Yeah, I agree with both Kathy and Fernando. I'll be supporting this.
Okay. All right, thank you. Chandel, could you read the decision then in support of the application with the conditions, as outlined, please?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I lost my cursor. I have multiple screens happening. That in the matter of application for minor variance for relief from the Township of Center Wellington zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 4.1, table 4A, permission be granted to allow an accessory apartment in a detached building, and further that the maximum floor area of the accessory apartment be 151.7 meters squared. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment above an accessory building, garage, on the described as 6019 third line, concession 3, west, part lot 28, Eramosa, Township of Center Wellington, subject to the following conditions. 1, the detached accessory apartment shall be limited to 151.75 meters squared, which is a 1,632 square feet in size, or up to 45% of the total floor area of the existing dwelling, whichever is greater. The detached accessory, number 2, the detached accessory apartment shall be located within the main building cluster as shown on the location plan submitted with the application. And number 3, that the detached accessory apartment shall be accessed from an existing driveway and no new road entrance shall be permitted.
Okay, thank you. Could I, any other further discussion by the committee? I will, if I can then get a mover for this motion, please.
I can move it.
So moved by Fernando.
Fernando.
Yes, and seconded by a seconder, please.
Seconded.
And seconded by Kathy. And all in favor? Aaron?
Favor.
Fernando?
In favor.
And Kathy? Kathy, in favor?
Yes, in favor.
Okay, thank you. And so that is carried. Just please note to the applicant that there is a 20-day appeal period before the application can then proceed further. So thank you very much to the first applicants.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So then our second application then is application A 23/2020 and 8526 Eramosa-Garafraxa Townline, West Garafraxa. And relief is being requested to permit an accessory apartment in a detached building. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment outside of the main dwelling for a year-round accommodation. Chantel, can you confirm for us, please, that the signs for this meeting have been posted on the property?
Yes, they were completed in
Thank you.
accordance with the Planning Act.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so do we have the applicant or agent present then to speak to the application? There's John or Barbara Ann or Leonard, Judy. Anyone present for this particular application?
They're here, Janice. They're just trying to figure out the mute button. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
Leonard, Judy Johnson are here representing John and Barb Hill.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Good. Okay, nice to meet you. Okay, we have, if you could then just, you've stated your name, so we don't need to do that again. But if you can just give us a brief overview of the application for the committee, please.
We were wanting to put a mobile home onto the property so that we could help take care of the farm, as well as help take care of Judy's parents, John and Barb Vreugdenhill.
Yes. Oops, I'm sorry. Sorry, okay, okay, yes, carry on. I'm sorry to interrupt. My screen went blank on me for some reason.
They're aging, and they need the help to keep the farm operational. So this is why we were interested in putting the residents there, so that we could be there to help them as well as help operate the farm.
Okay. All right. Okay, anything else to add, or?
I don't think so, no. That's the bottom line of it, so.
Okay, thank you. Do any of the committee members have any questions for the applicant? Maybe we'll start with Kathy.
No, the only question I have is that in the application, it says, it says there's, it was to be an accessory structure. So does a mobile home meet that criteria?
Well, it's, the home we were looking at was 14 by 60 feet long. So, and it was fully, it's like living in a house. It's a trailer, but it's like living in a house. It's for winter. It's 4 seasons. It has all the hydro criteria and everything the same as what a house would have, but it wouldn't have a foundation structure. It gets lagged to the ground in a different way other than a foundation. Does that answer?
Yes, I think it was more for Chantel, just to clarify. That's fine though. That helps me a lot.
Maybe that is something that we can, a question we can pose to staff, whether or not, because I take it that this isn't a separate, like a building with foundation. Obviously, it is a mobile home.
Did you want me to answer there, Janice?
Yes, please.
Okay, so these were at one time known as garden suites. Some are temporary, some are to be permanent. Basically, with the provincial legislation that has come out and the county changes and our regulations that are changing, these are going to be allowed as of right anyway. So in a detached structure, provided that they meet the building code, and Randy can speak to that in terms of what's required. We do consider them accessory structures. They do need to comply with the zoning in that respect. And we're dealing with them now as accessory apartments and structures in and of themselves, and no longer really classifying them as garden suites, in order to allow an owner to use it for whatever length of time they wish. Under the Planning Act, as a garden suite, they were only allowed to do it as a temporary use and needed to remove it after a certain period of time. So because the provincial legislation is now moving away from that, we're processing them as units that could be permanent, because the intention by the province and the county is to allow this as permanent housing that would be available. So rental housing, housing for family, whatever the case may be. Having said that, there are requirements to have them as dwelling units. They do need to be on some sort of foundation or somehow affixed to the ground. And they do need to function, be approved by the safety authority, and those sorts of elements that I guess Randy can speak to if you want further details on that aspect.
Yes, I think, yeah, just some clarification that it does have to be, the mobile home does have to be on a foundation. Randy?
Yeah, we handed all of that in with our application as to, we were looking at a Northlander trailer, which they come and they put pillars into the ground and fasten the trailer to the pillars. I'm pretty sure we set all of that in with our application, but we have it all for when, if this is approved for the builder permit or.
Builder. Okay.
Yeah, so if I may, Janice,
Yes.
through you, the Ontario Building Code, it does have regulations, a lot of regulations actually, pertaining to, traditionally these have been called like a modular home. As Mariana alluded to, they were treated as garden suites for many, many years. So the distinction though has to be made between like a travel trailer or a product like that, which is not set up for wintertime use at all, and would not be permitted. So something like a Northlander, more of a park model, the insulation values are higher. You can deal with the plumbing connections and hookups, as far as insulating them and protecting them from freezing. But a specific part of the building code does state that these buildings need to be designed and anchored to resist uplift, turning, overturning, any type of sliding or movement. So there's a few ways that's done. One would be putting this on a traditional foundation. Another would be a slab on grade with a thickened edge and reinforcing steel. Another would be, concrete piers in the ground, as I think Len was alluding to. There are duckbill anchor systems, which are like a giant oversized pile that gets augured into the ground, and then the straps hook up to the underside of the modular home and ratchet tight. So there's many ways to do it, but the point is it has to be done. So it needs some sort of anchorage system, so it's not going to, as I said, slide, turn, move, overturn. Wind uplift is a tremendous force. So that's probably the most significant force that the modular home is going to see is the uplift. But all of that is looked at in great detail during the building permit process. So if we're not satisfied that it's meeting the code for any of the requirements, then we'll certainly let the applicants know, and there'll be a resubmission required. So I don't know if that fully answers your questions, but it probably sheds some light on what you were wondering.
I think it does address some of my concerns with respect to the mobile home type thing, and yeah, I know, because it just seemed a little unclear, when it says an accessory, an accessory building, so it does clear it for me. Anyway, Kathy, are you you're okay?
Yes, that's cleared it up for me too. Thank you.
Good. Okay. Now, we'll carry on with any other questions. Then, Fernando, did you have any questions of either the applicant or staff or?
I did have the same questions as Katie and yourself. And thanks to Mariana and Randy to answer this question that clarify a lot of stuff. Thanks. No further questions.
Thank you. And Aaron, any questions at all for the applicant or staff or?
Yeah, for staff, and I don't think this will have any impact. Just curious how the septic works, or sanitary works on a mobile or modular home. If a septic system is required, or if it has to be connected to the sanitary system.
So through you, Kathy, or Janice, sorry. If the house system was large enough, as in the tank size and the leaching bed pipe size, length, distribution pipe length, there would be a possibility it could be hooked into the existing house system. 99 times out of 100, the house system's not large enough, and whether it's a modular home or an apartment above a detached garage or what have you, it'll get its own system. But it has to meet the Ontario Building Code Part 8 for an on-site sewage system. So likely it'll get a small Class 4 system, which is a septic tank, usually about minimum 3,600 liters in size, and then it'll get hooked into a distribution pipe system, which is an in-ground leaching system. Have you looked into that, Len or Judy?
Yes, we have. We know that we're going to need to put in our own septic system.
Perfect. No surprise there then.
No surprises.
Excellent.
We were kind of ready to go, but we stumbled with the red tape here. That's all.
No problems. No problems. We'll try to keep it going straight and quickly for you now.
Good,
We're
okay.
looking like spring now.
Thank you. So I will note that that there are approximately, I believe I counted them correctly, there's 11 letters of support from various people and neighbors for this this particular application. But I will ask if there are any persons registered to be heard today who wish to speak either in support or in opposition to this particular application.
I didn't have anyone register, Janice, so.
No one? Okay. All right. So seeing and hearing none, then we will move on. Could maybe the committee will just discuss the request, and if we do feel that it's minor and is in keeping with the zoning and official plan, and we'll also have a look at the conditions. You know, we're in support of the conditions as suggested by the planning staff. We'll start out, Aaron.
I have no concerns. I'll be supporting this. No more red tape to add here.
Fernando?
I don't have any issues with the application.
Thank you. And Kathy?
I have no issues. I'm pleased to see all the letters of support, so the neighbors know about it, and so I have no problem with supporting this application.
Excellent, thank you. Chantel, can you read the decision then in support of the application with the conditions, please?
Yeah. That in the matter of application for minor variance for relief from the Township of Center Wellington zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 4.1, table 4A, permission be granted to allow an accessory apartment in a detached building. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment outside of the main dwelling for year-round accommodation on lands described as 8526 Eramosa-Garafraxa Townline, Concession 6, Part Lot 1, West Garafraxa, Township of Center Wellington, subject to the following conditions. 1, the detached accessory apartment shall be limited to 95 meters squared, which is 1,030 square feet in size, or up to 45% of the total floor area of the existing dwelling, whichever is greater. Number 2, the detached accessory apartment shall be located within the main building cluster as shown on the location plan submitted with the application. And number 3, that the detached accessory apartment shall be accessed from the existing driveway and no new road entrance shall be permitted.
Okay, thank you. Could I then have a mover for this motion, please?
Move that we accept the motion.
Okay, moved by Kathy, and may I have a seconder, please?
I can second that.
Okay, and seconded by Aaron. And all in favor? Aaron,
In favor?
Fernando,
In favor?
and Kathy?
In favor.
Thank you. Okay, and so that motion has carried. So just a note to the applicants, just please know that there is a 20-day appeal period before you can proceed. But thank you for zooming in today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so our third application then for today, A24/2020, 6076 Jones Baseline, Nichol. Relief is being requested to permit an accessory apartment in a dwelling building. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment outside of the main dwelling for year-round accommodation. Chantal, can you confirm that the sign for the meeting has been posted on the property?
Yes, it wasn't posted. Thank you.
Thank you. And do we have the applicant agent present to speak to the application? Yes. Yeah, we got somebody.
Yes, sorry.
So, Catherine?
Yes.
Parkinson? Yes.
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 Yep.
So you are the applicant then?
Yes, I'm the house owner.
Oh, okay. Okay. And you're going to speak to the application today?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. Good. So we've already got your name. So if you would like to please provide the committee with an explanation of your application.
Well, we're just applying for a garden suite to be put on our property, and it's between the house and the road. So we needed a variance, so we were allowed to place it there because that's the only place where we can put it.
Yeah, within the cluster. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to add at this time? Or?
Well, we're putting it there because so my in-laws can watch our kids while my husband and I work. It will be my in-laws living there.
Okay, in the garden suite. Or
in the garden suite, yes.
Or the apartment. Okay.
Is that all you needed?
Sure. Anything else, or we can?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Unless you needed something else from me.
No. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
We'll go to. I'll now ask if the committee members have any questions. Then for the applicant or for staff. Okay, we'll start. Aaron?
Question for the applicant. Your neighbors look like they're in somewhat close proximity. Were you able to have conversations with them about your plans?
Yes, we have spoken with them, and they are in agreement to it.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Fernando, any questions for the applicant or for staff?
Yeah, just to clarify, is she applying for an accessory apartment or a garden suite in this case?
I can answer that. I can answer that question.
Thanks.
So there's some confusion right now in this sort of time of transition. They look like what we would traditionally call a garden suite because they are outside of the house. And that's what people often refer to them as, garden suites, granny flats, tiny home. We're trying to get away from that that wording just because it does have implications under the Planning Act. So when you call it a garden suite, it is meant to be temporary and it has to be done under a different process currently. However, given the provincial and county regulations around allowing these as of right as additional dwelling units, mobile, modular, tiny home, as long as they meet the building code and are on proper foundations or are properly affixed to the ground, we are considering them accessory apartments in a detached building. So they all fall under sort of the same umbrella right now under our regulations, despite, regardless of sort of how they're constructed. So we're leaving that to the building code because they still function as buildings. And so while she's calling it a garden suite, it's really not going under the garden suite regulations because those are intended to be removed and have a separate process that is a little more onerous given the current direction of the province and the county in terms of allowing these more easily. So I hope that answers your question. It looks like a garden suite, but it's an accessory apartment in a detached building for our purposes.
Yeah, and I just wanted to clarify because I know that this will impact the application. Thanks. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Marion. Kathy, any questions for the applicant or staff?
No questions.
No. Okay. Okay. I do have one question. I was noticing that, and of course, one of the conditions is for the accessory apartment shall be accessed from the existing driveway and no new road entrance. And when I was looking at the aerial and so forth, and I know that there's not really an opportunity, but do you plan to extend the existing driveway then to the new accessory building?
No, we were just going to do a walkway because there's enough parking on our current driveway.
Yeah. Okay. All righty. Okay. Good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I will ask if there are any other persons registered to be heard today who wish to speak in either in support or in opposition to this particular application. No one else. Okay. So hearing and seeing none, we will then move on. So the committee will now discuss the application and the request, and if we feel that it in fact is minor and is keeping with the zoning bylaw and the official plan, and we're in support of the conditions as laid out by staff, we'll start the discussion. Fernando, please.
No, I don't have any issue with this application at this moment.
Okay. Aaron?
No concerns.
And Kathy?
No concerns.
All right. So Chantel, can you then read the decision in support of the application along with the suggested conditions outlined in the planning report, please?
Sure. That in the matter of application for minor variance for relief from the Township of Center Wellington, zoning bylaw 2009-045 as amended, section 4.1, table 4A, permission be granted to allow an accessory apartment in a detached building. The effect of the variance is to permit the construction of an accessory apartment outside of the main dwelling for year-round accommodation on lands described as 6076 Jones Baseline, Concession 6, Part Lot 14, Nichol, Township of Center Wellington, subject to the following conditions. Number 1, the detached accessory apartment shall be limited to 84 meters squared, 905 square feet in size, or up to 45% of the total floor area of the existing dwelling, whichever is greater. Number 2, the detached accessory apartment shall be located within the main building cluster as shown on the location plan submitted with the application. And number 3, that the detached accessory apartment shall be accessed from the existing driveway and no new road entrance shall be permitted.
Okay, thank you. So can I have a mover then for this motion, please?
I can move it.
Okay, so moved by Fernando.
Fernando.
Yep, and seconded by,
Second it.
and seconded by Kathy. And all in favor? Aaron,
In favor?
Fernando,
In favor.
and Kathy? And that's carried. Please note to the applicant that there is a 20-day appeal period before the application can then proceed. So thank you to the applicant for zooming in, and yeah,
Thank
and
you.
that's the conclusion of this portion. Thank
Great.
you.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so that's the conclusion of all applications we have today. Chantal, any other business that you would like to bring forward?
Just wanted to talk about, I know Janice, you had just mentioned before the meeting that you had cleared your schedule for November and December for the start dates, so that we could potentially meet a little earlier to help Brad out.
Yes.
So if everyone, I think everyone else, Aaron, Fernando, and Kathy had indicated that they could meet earlier in the day if need be, maybe starting at 2 o'clock. So if that's still the case, I will email Brad and ask him if that would work for the next 2 meetings.
Okay.
So I will follow up with an email and let everyone know what his decision is.
Okay. And I can go even earlier than that too, or you know.
Okay. I
Okay.
just wasn't sure about Aaron or Fernando or Kathy if they had other commitments.
I can work around it, so
Okay.
I'm okay with whatever time works for Brad.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy.
Yes, me too. I don't have any issues. Start earlier.
Okay.
We'll
Thanks,
accommodate.
Fernando. Okay.
Should be fine on my end, just as long as we know in advance. So it's going to be for November, December.
Yeah, so basically just for like, well, I'll propose it for November and December. I do know November we'll have a meeting already because I have application. So if Brad's okay with starting at 2, we'll start at 2 for November. And then depending on if we get applications for December, we may or we may not.
Okay, but it would be 2 o'clock for December, and then January we're back to 3.
Yeah, well, I'll have to see what happens. We'll have
Okay.
to.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So, anything else under other business? No, we're good.
I'll be sending out a committee date, like the dates for 2021. So we can have a look at that. And then maybe during that time, we can also discuss moving forward with like a new time or something like that. So it's easier because we do it via Zoom, but I don't know if when Zoom ends, if, coming back into the office, if it'll be as easy to kind of do the 2 o'clock or whatever for everybody. So, but
Okay.
I will
Okay.
email
Well,
that
we'll-
calendar out.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. So, maybe, if that's everything, then, we'll, adjourn the meeting. Could I have a mover to adjourn, please?
I can move it.
Okay. Moved by Aaron, seconded by.
I can second.
Second by Fernando, and all in favor. Aaron,
In favor?
Fernando,
In favor.
Kathy? Okay, carried. We are